I'm Candy Law, and I'm going to be doing a demonstration of encaustic, showing some of the basic techniques that are used with this medium. But first I'd like to talk a little bit about the materials that I'm using. First of all is the support that you use with encaustic. One of the best things you can use is a rigid support. Here I have a piece of birch wood on a cradle. You need something rigid with wax because otherwise it might crack. So wood can be a very good thing to start out on. You need pigment and brushes. The pigment that I use, you can get it one of three ways. You can buy encaustic already made into cakes, and there are several suppliers that sell that, and later on I'll give you a list of who some of those are. But you can buy the encaustic already made, and for starting out that can be a great way to just experiment. But another way to get your color is to take something called medium, that is beeswax and resin that's mixed together, and when this is heated it provides a almost translucent surface. To this you can add color. You can add powder as a pigment to your medium, or you can also add a little bit of oil paint to your pigment to make a pigment. To apply it, you need brushes, and the best thing you can do is use brushes with use cheap brushes really, with a hog hair. They're inexpensive, they'll last a long time. You don't want to use expensive brushes, and you certainly don't want to use something with synthetic because once it touches the heat, they'll melt. You can get these at Lowe's, Home Depot, somewhere inexpensive, and online as well. The equipment that I'm using, probably the workhorse of what I have, is this electric skillet. I bought it inexpensively at Target. It's great because it has a cover I can use when I'm not working actively with the pigment, and it has a temperature control. That is really critical when working with wax. You want to keep it within a certain range of temperature so it doesn't smoke. That's when it gets toxic. Otherwise, it's a very safe medium to use. So I highly recommend something like this. After I've been working with it for a while, I went ahead and got a palette, heated palette. I bought this at R&F. They're a little more expensive, but it gives you additional work surface. It's a metal plate. Underneath is a heated burner, and you can use different kinds of little tins on it. Here I've just got little aluminum tins. You can buy the nicer metal ones. You can even use like tuna cans or cat food cans. An important thing that I do have is a temperature gauge. Again, I want to keep track of how hot I'm making the wax and keep it within a certain range. Both of these I have at about 200, and that should work just fine. Then, lastly, once you get your support, you have your pigment, you put something down, you need to fuse it. And there are different things that you can use to fuse the different layers of wax. I prefer to use a heat gun. I put it on the highest heat, and I have 2 fan settings. That works really well to fuse each layer. You can also use a propane torch. You can use an iron, a tacking iron, or even a regular iron. So I am now ready to begin starting this piece of artwork.